stop, don't scroll. God did not allow this video to cross your path by accident today. There is a specific reason why your soul has felt so heavy, and if you can hear my voice, it is because your period of silence has just reached its expiration date. You have been walking through a season of quietness, feeling forgotten and close to the edge of surrender. But something you did today opened a rare exception in heaven, a decree issued specifically for your house. I know the weariness that lives in your bones. Your soul has been in a state of permanent alert, like a soldier who forgot how to lay down his shield. You go to bed exhausted, but your mind refuses to shut down, waking you up at 3 in the morning with a tightness in your chest that has no name. You are tired of being the strong one, tired of the vigils, and tired of waiting for a confirmation that feels like it is always one day too far away. This constant exhaustion has started to cloud your judgment. Decisions that used to be clear now feel like impossible mazes, and you find yourself hesitating on choices that define your future. Every time you try to move forward, you hit the same invisible wall, repeating patterns of setback that you've already diagnosed but cannot seem to break. It's not that you lack the will to change, it's that the weight of the battle has stolen your ability to see the path through the fog. But the deepest pain is what you carry into your own home. Your spouse has learned to stop asking how your day was, sensing the storm in your eyes before you even step through the door. Your children have slowly stopped calling you for the small joys, sensing that your cup is already overflowing with a bitterness they didn't create. You arrive as a provider, but you dump the weight of the world at the dinner table, leaving your family to navigate the silence of a house that should be a sanctuary. I am here to tell you that the silence was not abandonment, but a deep refining of your authority. In this video, I will show you exactly where you have been for the last few months, describing the specific nights and specific decisions that finally make the silence make sense. I will reveal a secret from the original Hebrew language, 3 syllables that act as a code for your identity. This revelation isn't for a crowd. It is a specific decoding of what has been sealed over your life. Before we finish, I will declare 3 specific names over you. This is not a generic blessing, but a formal commission that will act as a seal of protection over your mind and your family. If you leave in the middle of this message, you leave without the sealing, and you will remain in the cycle of exhaustion that has been draining your strength. Stay with me, for the next few minutes will determine if the decree opened in heaven remains open for your victory. You have felt like a seed trapped in the dead of winter, haven't you? You are surrounded by frozen ground, buried in the dark, with no outward sign that anything is growing. But a seed in winter is not dead. It is being protected and prepared by the very soil that feels like a burden. You were placed there with divine intent, by hands that knew exactly what you were carrying. The darkness you've experienced was never your end. It was the necessary environment for your true strength to take root. The truth is, you haven't been fighting poorly. You have been fighting with the heart of a lion, but you have been fighting without the instrument that was promised to you. Imagine a king trying to govern without his seal, or a watchman trying to see the horizon without his torch. Your exhaustion doesn't come from a lack of faith, but from trying to sustain the weight of your calling with your bare hands. Instead of using the practical tools of wisdom that were left for your day-to-day survival, I want you to take a stand right now. Type, "I am here," in the comments as a decree of your spiritual positioning. Regarding this weight you carry home and this soul that never truly rests, there is something that Solomon left recorded for times exactly like these. It is a 2-minute key that fits perfectly into the machinery of your ordinary, busy day, and I am going to show it to you very soon. Keep that image of the key in the back of your mind. If for any reason you must leave before I finish, this instrument is already waiting for you in the first pinned comment right below this video. But I ask you to stay until the final word, because without the context I am about to provide, the key will not work with the same power in your hand. You cannot use the tool effectively if you do not first understand the nature of the lock it was designed to open. The preparation is where the true authority is forged. We are about to enter the hidden archive of the wise, but first, you must answer one thing in your spirit. What happens to a seed that no one intentionally planted and no one remembers to water, yet it still insists on breaking through the hardest pavement to reach the light? Why is it that the more life tries to crush you, the more your spirit refuses to stay down. There is a name for this resilience, and it is the beginning of the end for your exhaustion. You arrived here because something you did today opened an exception in heaven. The decree has been signed, the word was given, and now begins the part that most people miss. Because between the word received at the refiner's fire and the word fulfilled in your ordinary life, there is an interval that the enemy knows better than you do. It is in this interval that most of the chosen ones lose what was granted to them. Not because the decree was revoked, but because they arrived at the locked gate of their own home on a Monday morning and did not have the instrument to sustain it. Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived, and that is not just a history book title, it is a biblical record signed by God himself. When he had the chance to ask for anything at all, he did not ask for riches, long life, or the heads of his enemies. He asked for wisdom, and God was so moved by the request that he gave him wisdom and everything else along with it. He judged the dispute of the two mothers when no one else in the kingdom knew how to judge. He wrote 3,000 proverbs. He governed Israel at the historical peak that nation has ever seen, before or after. The Queen of Sheba traveled months by camel just to test this wisdom, and when she returned, she said that not even half had been told, and Jesus himself, Jesus in person, cited Solomon by name. And he did not take this wisdom to the grave. He left it recorded with surgical precision that has crossed 3,000 years without losing its edge. He left recorded how to stop hitting the same locked gate that your father and grandfather couldn't open, to finally turn the key in the lock that has kept your lineage in the dark for generations. He left recorded how to enter your home like a king returning to his palace, and not a weary soldier bringing the mud of the trenches into the living room. So your family finally breathes and doesn't need you resolved. They need you present at the dinner table as the firm pillar they expect. And he left recorded how to walk with the posture of a Bakir who knows the decree is already signed. So you stop deciding in the heat of the squeeze, stop asking for advice from those who are sinking you, and stop believing in those who sell cheap miracles. Before I name the instrument, move your thumb to the first pinned comment, right below. Don't click yet. Just let your gaze reach it and recognize that it's there. Do that now. I have gathered this into a guide called The Code of Solomon's Wisdom. It is a main written guide in PDF that you read in one 40-minute sitting, plus the audio of the Ritual of the Righteous Sleep in MP3 to listen to before bed, and the written guide of the 7 morning decrees in PDF to open in your first hour of the day. It is in the first pinned comment, right below. It is the union of the wisdom of Proverbs with the principles of peaceful restoration, which take a person out of a survival state and bring them into a state of clarity and decision. Solomon wrote it. I organized it for the ordinary day you are living right now, in this week that begins tomorrow. Along with the main guide, there are 2 instruments that I placed there, because without them, the guide would have a hole. The first is the Ritual of the Righteous Sleep. 10 minutes before bed, guided by Psalm 4. 8. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. It is not a modern relaxation technique. It is the act of handing over to the guard of the one who never sleeps what you carried all day. So your soul stops acting like a night watchman over a hidden archive that is already in the hands of someone who doesn't need you awake to defend what is yours. The second is the awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees. 5 minutes upon waking, before your phone, before your coffee. 7 decrees pronounced in your own voice, taken from the wisdom of Proverbs, which position the day before the day positions you. It is the posture of an heir before the calendar, the bills, and the routine speak for you. To start the day as one who was called, not as one who was crushed before 8 a.m., and the price the price. Less than a Starbucks coffee in the afternoon, less than a simple Sunday lunch with your family, less than a tank of gas to drive to church on Sunday. I set it at this value on purpose, not because it is worth little. It is worth what Solomon left recorded for 3,000 years. I set it at this value so that the only obstacle between you and the instrument would be your decision to reach out your hand. Not price, not schedule, not distance, only your hand toward the link. And there is a 7 days guarantee. If you open it, Use it for a week and it doesn't serve you. Send an email and receive your money back in full. And here is the part no one else does. You keep the 2 bonus instruments. The ritual of the righteous sleep stays with you. The awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees stays with you, even after the refund. This is not a generous concession. It is the recognition that the risk of testing cannot be yours. The risk is ours. The only risk left for you is the risk of not testing. And the risk of not testing is the risk of leaving here with the decree open in heaven and losing it on Monday morning for lack of an instrument. Several people here on this channel in recent weeks have already received this instrument. Fathers, grandparents, people who carry their household on their backs. I've read messages from those who slept through the night for the first time in months. From a husband who sat down at the dinner table and his wife noticed the difference without needing to ask. From a grandmother who managed to pray with her grandchild without the weight of the day crossing the prayer. It's not magic. It is the right instrument in the right hand. And while they sleep tonight with their soul handed over, your calendar keeps running. The next night you will lay your head on the pillow with your soul still on alert is tonight, maybe 3 hours from now. The next morning you will wake up thinking about the battles is tomorrow. Each night without the ritual of the righteous sleep is a night your body will pay for. Each morning without the awakening of clarity. The 7 morning decrees is a morning the world rewrites first. The cost of delaying is not 0, but do not leave now. The sealing is not yet finished. What I need to show you next is greater than any instrument Solomon left recorded. It is the Hebrew name for what is happening to you at this very moment. The name of the exception that was opened in heaven because of what you did today. And when you hear this name, you will understand why everything up to this point has been preparation for just one word. Stay. I need you to listen with your spirit, not just your ears, because I am about to describe the scars you have been trying to hide. These are not signs of your failure, but the markings of a Bekayar, the chosen one who is currently under the weight of the refiner's press. You have felt like you were being crushed, but in the kingdom of heaven, being pressed is the prerequisite for being poured out with authority. There are 5 specific signs that the Father uses to validate your identity during this period of heavy silence. As I number them, pay attention to how your heart reacts, because recognition is the first step toward your release. The first sign is that your prayer life has shifted into a frequency of heavy silence. You used to feel the immediate warmth of a response, but lately it feels like your words are hitting a ceiling of brass and echoing back into your own room. You find yourself kneeling, but the words will not come, or when they do, they feel shallow compared to the depth of the ache in your chest. Do not mistake this for abandonment. God is not ignoring your voice. He is teaching your soul to find Him in the quiet, sharpening your spiritual ears for a command that is about to be issued from the throne. The second sign is an ineffable weight that follows you through the most ordinary moments of your day. You feel a heaviness in your hands, even when you aren't carrying anything, and decisions that should be simple now feel like monumental tasks. You have diagnosed the patterns in your life, the way resources seem to slip through your fingers just as you reach for the goal. And yet, you feel powerless to break the cycle. You are seeing the lock on the gate that your lineage has faced for years, but you are trying to pull it open with your bare strength instead of using the instrument left for your hands. The third sign is the most painful because it lives within the walls of your own sanctuary, your home. You find yourself lingering in the car before walking through the front door, bracing yourself because you do not know how to leave the battle outside. Your children have slowly stopped calling you for the small joys because they sense the storm in your eyes. And your spouse has learned to stop asking how your day was, fearing that the answer will only add to the weight of the room. This silence isn't a lack of love. It is the insulation of a heart that is carrying too much and doesn't know how to unload the lead. The fourth sign is the feeling of constant erosion in your day-to-day life. It is the sensation that you are a vessel with invisible breaches, where your energy, your focus, and your resources are leaking out through points you cannot see. You work harder than everyone around you, yet you seem to finish the day with less than when you started. Your body is paying the price for a soul that never truly unbuckles its armor. You're waking up at 3 in the morning with a tightness in your chest, feeling that every hour you sleep is an hour the world is winning. The fifth sign is that silence has become the only answer to your cry for confirmation. You have asked for a sign, for a door to open, or for a single word of direction, and all you received was more quietness. You feel like you are late for your own destiny, watching others walk into their harvest while you are still tilling the frozen ground. But the silence is the sign itself. It is the archive being kept locked until the precise moment of the decree. You are not being forgotten. You are being hidden and protected from a premature exposure that would break a lesser spirit. If you recognize yourself in at least 3 of these 5 signs, it is because the seal of the chosen is already upon you. This is your moment of spiritual positioning. I want you to make a decree right now in the sight of the cloud of witnesses that surrounds you. Go to the comments and type with authority, "I carry what no one else carries." Do it as an act of war against the spirit of exhaustion that has been trying to tell you that you are alone. By writing those words, you are acknowledging that the weight you feel is not a burden of shame, but a burden of glory. You must understand that what you have been experiencing is not an execution. It is a refinement. You are in a divine pressure chamber, and the ground that feels like it is esmagamento you is actually the tool being used to turn the carbon of your character into the diamond of your authority. A diamond is nothing more than a piece of coal that handled stress exceptionally well. Every night of alert, every moment of silence at the dinner table, and every decision that felt like lead was a pound of pressure applied to ensure that when you finally stand, you cannot be broken. Before I give you the Hebrew name of what you carry, the name that will finally silence the voice of the adversary in your mind, I must remind you of one thing. The instrument that Solomon left recorded, the one I mentioned at the beginning, is not a substitute for the identity you are about to receive. It is the companion to it. The name gives you the right to enter the palace, but the instrument gives you the ability to govern the ordinary day once you are there. First, we establish the name. Then, we take up the tool. Stay with me. There is a word in the original Hebrew that defines exactly the state of your soul in this season of waiting. It is a word that changes the why of your suffering into the purpose of your commission. When I say this word and explain its 3 syllables, you will never look at your period of silence or your heavy nights in the same way again. The revelation is only moments away, and it is the key that unlocks the archive of your future. Stay. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the rhythm of your heart, the very center where the weight of your house and the exhaustion of your soul have been pressing down for so long. You are not just a spectator in this moment. You are a witness to your own unveiling. The atmosphere around you is changing because the hidden archive of your life is about to be opened. This silence you have endured is not empty space. It is a sacred chamber where a royal letter is being written into the very fabric of your spirit. There is a name for what you are, a name that the enemy recognizes even when you have forgotten it. In the ancient Hebrew tongue, the word is Ba-Kair. I want you to hear the sound of it, Ba-Kach-Ir. It is not a word of casual affection, but a title of high authority. For months you have been searching for a reason for the attacks, looking for a logic behind the locked gate that stands between you and your harvest. The reason is contained in these 2 syllables. You are a Bakir, and the heavens have been waiting for you to recognize the frequency of your own name. Many who read the sacred scrolls translate this word simply as chosen or elect, as if it were a random lottery or a stroke of divine luck. But that is a shallow shell, a surface-level understanding that misses the gravity of the call. To be merely called is to be invited to a feast, but to be a Bakir is to be appointed to the government of that feast. The world sees the outward election, but they do not see the weight of the crown that comes with it. They see the privilege, but they do not understand the refinement required to sustain the authority you are about to exercise. The true meaning of Bakir is found in the refiner's fire. It is the metal that has passed through the highest heat of the forge and emerged without breaking. It describes the one who has been tested, examined, and ultimately approved for a specific commission. You have felt the fire of the last few months, the pressure that felt like it was crushing the life out of you, but it was actually the process of turning the carbon of your character into the diamond of your destiny. You are the chosen one who has been proven reliable under the weight of the silence. This is exactly what was recorded by the prophet in the ancient scrolls of Isaiah 42:1. Hear the decree as it was written in the King James Version. Behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. The word used there for elect is bakir. God is not just pointing to you, he is upholding you. He is delighting in the fact that you did not break during the winter. The Spirit is being placed upon you because you have proven that you can carry the unseen decree without faltering in the dark. I am here to tell you that this period of your life has a name before it has an end. You have been looking for the exit sign, but God was looking for the bakir to emerge. The silence, the exhaustion, and the feeling of being out of place, all of it is the signature of this specific season. It is the period of the tested elect. When you understand that your state of alert was actually a state of spiritual positioning, the exhaustion begins to lose its grip. You are no longer a victim of a cycle. You are the bearer of a decree that is now being unsealed in the courts of heaven. Think back to the seed in the winter. The ground is hard, the air is cold, and to the naked eye everything is dead. But the seed is a bakir. It is currently being protected by the very pressure of the frozen earth. It is in the dark that the most important archives of your identity are being written. You are not being buried, you are being planted. The darkness is not your grave, it is the hidden archive where your true authority is being forged. The period of the seed must come before the glory of the harvest. And your period of silence has prepared you for a weight of glory that would have crushed you a year ago. Now that you know the name of what you carry, now that you recognize yourself as the bakir who has survived the fire, I need to show you that you are not the first to walk this path. Someone carried this very name and this very weight long before you did, and they left a trail of wisdom for you to follow. What happened to this person when they finally stepped out of the silence is the exact blueprint for what is about to happen in your house. The outcome of their battle is the guarantee of yours. I promise to come back to this, and it is the revelation that will change everything. You have been waiting for a moment where the world finally sees what God whispered to you in the dark. Like a king hidden in a shepherd's field or a prince working in a prison, your current position feels beneath your true identity. You see the needs of your family, the leaking resources, and the locked gates of your lineage, and you wonder if the preparation will ever end. You are standing in the very place where the wise have always been forged, in the gap between the promise and the manifestation. Your soul is weary from the vigilance, but this exhaustion is the proof that you have been holding a position that no one else was strong enough to defend. Think of Solomon, before the gold, before the temple, before the fame that reached the ends of the earth. He was a young man facing a responsibility that outweighed his strength. He didn't start with a legacy of peace. He started with the weight of David's unfinished wars and the heavy expectations of a kingdom that didn't know if he could lead. He sat in the silence of Gibeon, not asking for victory or wealth, but for the one thing that turns a weary soldier into a reigning king. He asked for the ability to hear the heart of the matter. He knew that the crown was not a prize of comfort, but a commission of discernment that required a specific kind of internal clarity. The moment his preparation met, the day-to-day reality was not in a temple ceremony, but in a messy, human dispute between two mothers. There was no thunder from heaven, no visible miracle. There was only a crisis that required a practical instrument. Solomon didn't just pray for a sign, he used an instrument of discernment to expose the truth. He understood that his authority was not meant for the clouds, but for the dinner table and the courtroom. He operated with a surgical wisdom that identified the breach and restored justice where everyone else saw only confusion. He didn't just have faith, he had the precise tool needed to govern the common day. That single act of applied wisdom revealed to the whole world what God had already done in Solomon's heart during the silent nights. The invisible preparation became a visible authority because he had the right tool for the right moment. You are in that same transition. The silence you have endured was not empty. It was the building of the very archive you will use to govern your house. Your ordinary problems are the stage where your bakir identity is about to be validated before the eyes of those who doubted you. The weight you feel is the sign that the archive is full and the decree is ready to be released. Pause for a moment. If this mirror is reflecting your own soul right now, I want you to click the like button on this video. Do not do it for me or for this channel. Do it because there is someone in your circle, perhaps someone in your own family tree, who is carrying the same heavy silence you once carried. Every like is a signal in the spirit that the frequency of truth is spreading. It is an act of intercession for another Bakiyar who is still wandering in the winter thinking they have been forgotten. By clicking, you are decreeing that the silence is over for them as well as for you. I now declare the first name over your spirit. You are the keeper of the silent promise. This is the name for the one who remains faithful when the heavens seem like brass and the ground feels like iron. You have held on to the word God gave you, even when your eyes saw only setbacks and your bank account spoke of lack. You have guarded the flicker of hope in the dead of winter, refusing to let the cold of the world extinguish the fire of your calling. You have been the watchman over a seed that no one else believed would grow, and your persistence has reached the throne. As the keeper of the silent promise, you are now authorized to see the purpose behind the delay. The period of guarding is over, and the period of fulfilling is at hand. Because you did not discard the promise in the dark, you have earned the right to govern it in the light. The exhaustion that came from trying to protect that promise with your bare hands is being lifted, and you are being granted the stability to stand as a pillar for those who are still waiting for their own dawn. Your posture is changing from a defender of a secret to a ruler of a manifest truth. I declare the second name over you. You are the bearer of the unseen decree. This is the recognition of the authority you carry that the enemy sees even when you are too tired to notice. It is the signature of heaven upon your life that causes the principalities to tremble when you walk into a room. You have been moving through your life like an undercover agent, unaware that the very atmosphere shifts because of the commission that was sealed upon your head in the hidden archive. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the bearer of their resolution. As the bearer of the unseen decree, you no longer have to plead for entrance or beg for crumbs. You are authorized to walk with the posture of one whose lineage has already been cleared in the courts of heaven. This name breaks the spirit of hesitation that has made you doubt your own discernment. You are now positioned to issue commands over your house and your future that the spiritual world must obey, because your decree is backed by the King of Kings, who delights in your approved character. The weight in your pocket is no longer lead, it is the seal of your office. I declare the third and final name over you. You are the one sent to restore the gates. This is your ultimate identity and the reason for the specific battles you have faced. You were not chosen just to survive. You were chosen to fix what has been broken in your family for generations. You are the one who will turn the key in the locked gate that your father and grandfather couldn't open. You are the repairer of the breach, the one who brings the sanctuary back into the home and ensures that the peace of God guards the entrance to your dwelling. As the one sent to restore the gates, your exhaustion is being replaced by a divine precision. You are authorized to reclaim the territory that was lost to the spirit of erosion. Your children will walk through gates that were once closed because you had the courage to face the silence and take up the instrument of wisdom. This is the end of the almost harvest. You are no longer just touching the handle. You are opening the door and leading your household into the palace of peace that was promised to your lineage. Your family will see the king in you before they see the provider. You and Solomon are now operating on the same frequency. These three names have acted like a divine tuning fork, syntonizando your spiritual receptor to the very transmission of heaven. You are finally hearing the music of your own authority, but there is something that the enemy desperately does not want you to know about these three names. He has spent years trying to keep you in the dark about how they actually function in the physical world, because when you discover the secret of how to activate these names tonight, he loses the primary weapon he has used to keep you exhausto. There is one final layer to this seal, and it is the key to your absolute rest. Listen carefully, beloved. The moment the seal of the Baker is recognized upon your head, the adversary identifies a new threat to his kingdom. He is not going to watch your restoration from the sidelines. He knows that a chosen one with the right instrument is a dangerous force for the restoration of gates. Now that you have seen the invisible archive and received your commission, you must be prepared for the strategic counter-offensive. We are moving from the revelation into the battlefield, and I am handing you the strategic map to navigate the coming hours. The enemy's first strike is the erosion of comparison. He will wait for you to look at your neighbor's harvest or your brother's season and whisper that you are late for your own destiny. He wants to convince you that the frozen ground of your winter is a sign of God's forgetfulness, while others are already reaping in the sun. This tactic is designed to make you feel like an outcast rather than the elect. He attempts to steal the joy of your specific commission by making you measure your unique path against someone else's calendar. Your first weapon is the decree of uniqueness. You must speak what God said, not what the world feels. Stand in the authority of your name and declare, "My trajectory is unique, and I refuse to compare my hidden winter with another man's visible spring." You are a Bakir, and your refinement has a specific weight of glory that cannot be rushed. Your timing is not measured by the sun, but by the decree of the king. When you stop looking at the speed of others, the adversary loses the power to discourage your heart. The second tactic is the erosion of perception. The adversary will fill your house with static noise and small fires to make you interpret the silence of God as total rejection. He knows that if he can distract you with the chaos of the ordinary day, you will fail to recognize the still, small voice of your instruction. He wants to drown out the transmission of heaven with the shouting of the world's bills and the world's worries. If he can make you blind to the presence of the Father, he can keep you exhausto. You counter this with the weapon of the memory of the altar. You must reach back to the specific moment when God was unequivocally real in your life. That memory is not just a comfort, it is legal proof in the courts of heaven that the Father is with you. When the adversary shouts that you are alone, you bring that memory of the altar to the witness stand. The memory of what God did yesterday acts as a shield against the lies he tells you about tomorrow. The altar of the past secures the gates of your future. The enemy's most desperate tactic is the erosion of persistence. He waits until you are 24 hours away from the turning point and then concentrates the weight of the last 7 years onto your final mile. He wants you to surrender when the door handle is already under your hand. He knows that if you give up now, the locked gate of your lineage remains closed for another generation. He preys on your physical exhaustion, hoping that the fatigue of the body will force the spirit to release the decree you were sent to carry. Your weapon is the resistance of the last second. This is not about running a race. It is about simply refusing to fall. When everything in your environment demands that you drop your shield, you choose to remain standing at the threshold. You don't need to fight with your bare strength. You only need to refuse to leave the gap. This persistence is the final test of the Bakir. When you stand firm, when everything else is falling, you prove that your authority is grounded in the one who upholds the heavens and the earth. I want you to subscribe to this channel right now, not as a social gesture, but as a spiritual positioning of your receptor for the days that are coming. By joining this circle of the wise, you are declaring that you are ready to receive the ongoing frequency of the decree. Do not let this message be a one-time encounter. Position yourself as a watchman who stays alert, surrounding yourself with the wisdom needed to maintain the gates you are restoring. Click the button as an act of commission, aligning your heart with the company of the elect. Now that you know the name of the enemy, the nature of his attacks, and the weapons you have been granted to silence his voice, there is a final act that must be performed. Knowledge without activation is like a lamp without oil. There is a specific prayer that needs to be issued from your spirit, not a prayer for help, but a prayer of command that seals everything we have discussed today. I'm going to lead you in this moment of authority, but the power must come from your own recognition of the Bei Kaya within. Stay with me. Close your eyes now. Place both hands over your chest. Breathe deeply before we continue. Feel the weight of your own hands against the fabric of your clothes, the rhythm of your heart struggling beneath the surface of a soul that has forgotten how to be still. You are not here to listen to a sermon. You are here to stand in the court of heaven and settle a debt of exhaustion that has been accumulating for years. Let the air fill your lungs and realize that this breath is the first one you have taken in a long time that doesn't carry the taste of survival. The atmosphere around you is no longer neutral. It is thick with the presence of the one who has been waiting for you to stop fighting with your bare hands. You stand here now and confess the leaden weight in your marrow, the fatigue that no amount of sleep has been able to touch. You bring before the throne the nights of staring at the ceiling, the moments where your mind raced through the bills and the battles, while your body begged for rest. You admit the hesitation in your spirit, the way you have looked at the locked gates of your life and felt the sting of repeated setbacks. You bring the silence of your dinner table, the times you arrived home and unintentionally dumped the darkness of the world onto the very people you are called to protect. You acknowledge that you have been trying to sustain the weight of your calling without the instrument of wisdom, and your strength has finally reached its limit. I accept the mantle of my new identity. I receive the 3 names that have been declared over my spirit this day. I am no longer a wanderer in the winter. I am the keeper of the silent promise, the bearer of the unseen decree, and the one sent to restore the gates. I position my soul to receive the sealing of the Bar Kea. I renounce the spirit of erosion that has been convincing me I am an outcast. I stand firm in the gap of my lineage, ready to turn the key in the locks that held my fathers in chains. I am here. I am chosen. I am approved. Let the hidden archive of my destiny be opened, and let the command of heaven be written into my ordinary Monday morning. E te vi nas noites em que você olhava para o teto e o aperto chegava antes do primeiro pensamento. Eu te vi conferindo o despertador às 3 da manhã, com a alma recusando-se a desabotoar a armadura, temendo que se você fechasse os olhos, o mundo venceria enquanto você dormia. Eu estava lá na escuridão quando sua respiração era curta e o silêncio parecia um manto pesado sobre seus ombros. Eu vi o cansaço que não sai com o banho, a exaustão que mora nos seus ossos e que faz cada movimento do dia seguinte parecer um esforço de guerra. Eu vi você vigiando um campo vazio, esperando por um sinal que parecia nunca chegar. Eu te vi nas decisões que você tomou no desespero, porque a clareza não chegou a tempo. E no dia seguinte você acordou com o peso do erro que diagnosticou, mas não soube evitar. Eu te vi segurando a caneta sobre o papel, hesitando porque os padrões do passado gritavam mais alto que a promessa do futuro. Eu vi a hesitação nas suas mãos quando você precisava de critério e só encontrou medo. Eu vi quando você pediu conselhos a quem estava afundando você e como o silêncio da minha voz foi interpretado como minha ausência, quando na verdade era o meu refino sobre a sua autoridade para decidir com justiça. Eu te vi chegando em casa descarregando o peso que o mundo colocou em cima de você, e eu vi a sua família aprender a não perguntar. Eu te vi soltando as chaves sobre a mesa e trazendo a tempestade dos seus olhos para dentro do santuário, que deveria ser o seu descanso. Eu vi o seu cônjuge recuar um passo, sentindo a vibração da batalha que você ainda não tinha terminado de lutar. Eu vi os seus filhos pararem de te chamar para as pequenas alegrias, sentindo que o seu copo já estava transbordando de uma amargura que eles não criaram. Eu te vi sozinho no meio de quem você mais ama, e eu vi a dor desse isolamento. Mas hoje, o meu espírito se move sobre a sua exaustão. Eu não estou removendo o peso, eu estou te dando o instrumento para governá-lo. Você não é mais uma vítima da estação. Você é o bacair que foi aprovado no fogo. Eu coloquei o meu espírito sobre você, e as chaves que você carrega não serão mais de chumbo, mas o instrumento de um rei. A partir desta noite, a sua autoridade será cirúrgica. Onde havia caos, haverá decreto. Onde havia medo, haverá critério. A sua casa voltará a ser um palácio de paz, e você voltará a deitar a cabeça no travesseiro, sabendo que quem guarda Israel não tosqueneja nem dorme. Você é meu. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. The sealing is complete. The court has adjourned, and the decree has been issued in your favor. The 3 names are now part of your spiritual DNA, vibrating at the frequency of the restoration of gates. The mantle is on your shoulders, and the weight of it is no longer a burden of shame, but a burden of glory. You are standing on the threshold of your own manifestation, and the heavens are watching as you take your first step into the light of the approved. Don't say amen yet. Stay here. Stay in this density of meaning, where the air feels different and the silence is no longer empty. The winter has finished its work. The frozen ground that felt like a burial was actually a cradle, and the darkness was the hidden archive where your true authority was forged. The seed has broken through. The earth that was hard as iron has yielded to the life that was hidden within you. You are the fruit of your own persistence, the harvest of your own silence. The archive is open, and the wisdom of the ages is flowing into the ordinary moments of your life. The frequency of your soul has been tuned to the throne. The static of the world has been silenced, and the transmission of heaven is clear. You can feel the shift in the atmosphere of your room, the transition from a place of struggle to a place of government. The adversary has lost the ground of the after, and the later has been replaced by the now. The keys in your pocket are no longer lead. They are the instruments of the restoration of your lineage. Everything that was stolen by the spirit of erosion is being returned with the signature of the King upon it. Now you may say, Amen. Let the sound of it be the final seal upon your head. Let it be the roar of the lion that returns to its territory. The decree is signed, the instrument is in your hand, and the Monday morning that once brought dread is now the stage for your victory. You are the Bakr, the chosen one who did not break. Go now and walk into your house as the king returning to his palace. The gates are open, and the rest you have sought has finally found its way to your soul. Amen and amen. Don't open your eyes yet. Keep your hands on your chest. The seal is fresh. And it's exactly now that the adversary will try his first attack. What was sealed here will be tested on Monday morning. When the alarm rings and the routine returns, the adversary will try to reread what happened today as passing emotion. He who is commissioned without an instrument walks in the open field without what Solomon left recorded. The exception was opened in heaven. Now it must survive the ordinary day. The Code of Solomon's wisdom is in the first pinned comment below, not as a substitute for what you received, but as a companion to defend what was sealed, because a decree without an instrument rots on Monday morning, and the adversary counts on Monday. It costs less than a Starbucks coffee in the afternoon, less than a Saturday afternoon snack. With a 7 days guarantee and the 2 bonus instruments that stay with you, even if it doesn't serve you. The awakening of clarity remains in your hands. The risk is ours. The hand is yours. Click now. Those who leave it for later leave it for never, and the adversary counts on later. That voice whispering right now, you'll see later, decide tomorrow. Now is not the time. That voice is not yours. That voice is the voice of the one who lost today in the court of heaven and is trying to recover ground on your Monday morning. Click before the adversary speaks louder than the decree that has just been sealed over your head. And now the last word. Someone in your circle carries the same heavy silence and the same locked gate you faced until today. They will not stop scrolling alone. They need someone to send them this key. That someone is you. This is not sharing a video. It is interceding for another Bakr who is still in the winter. Now close your eyes, take 3 breaths, and remain in silence until the video ends. What was done here needs to land. Don't scroll. Don't leave. Stay.